Welcome to Unapologetically Fly, the podcast dedicated to giving you the tools, inspiration, and information you need to finally live for yourself, no matter the age, situation, or circumstance. I'm your host, Renee Mitchell-Simpson, the self-love and happiness coach and founder of Well Diva Lifestyle and Travel, the premier luxury wellness travel sisterhood for the flyest of aunties. Now get ready to ride along on my journey of reinvention, even at this big age, because sis, I need you to know it truly is never too late to fly. And by fly, I mean finally live for yourself. In this episode, I am bringing you into the room where I experienced an energy clearing with a master shamanic practitioner. I think back to how closed-minded and judgmental I was as a Christian, and how years ago I would never have participated in something like this. I was that Christian who saw everything outside of my church and my Bible as evil. I was that Christian who would pray with you on the street corner and get you saved, pick you up for church, make sure you got there and got the word, and then go on back out there and recruit some more. But at some point in my life, I was miserable, and I knew that the God I served could not possibly approve of me being miserable. So that's when I began to search for answers. For me, the answer came in the form of a book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. When I read that book, it was the first time I had ever heard of a shaman. I learned more in that book than I learned in many a church service. The next book I read was equally life-changing, and that was Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. That book totally changed my way of thinking about so many religious beliefs that I had. And in my continuous quest for knowledge and peace, as I evolve, I open myself to encounter people like Shevanne, my shaman. I thank God that I have evolved. It's funny, I think a lot of us, as we mature, our thinking elevates, and we just don't really talk about it. It's like a dirty little secret in the Black church. Like we know that a lot of what we're taught is missing some things and may not be accurate, but we just continue to go on and kind of just push that under the rug, or we just talk about it quietly amongst ourselves. But so many of us actually do go out and look for answers. And when we look for answers, we find them. So I wanted to share this experience with you in hopes that you too would have an open mind to whatever you learn about in this episode. I hope you'll leave this episode with some new insight and maybe a little more tolerance for things that are new to you. A lot of problems in this world stem from pure ignorance and closed-mindedness, and a lack of tolerance for something different. So let's not be a part of that problem. Without further ado, I bring you episode 16 and my shaman, Shevanne Helmer. All right, welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Fly, the podcast. And today I am in Paris, France, not Texas, with a very special guest this is a good friend of mine that I met when I was in Rushton, England. That was 2022, right? I think it was 22. Yeah.
22.
Yes.
Almost 2.5 years ago.
We were getting our hypnotherapy certification together. And this is Shevanne Helmer, and you are from Jamaica?
I am Jamaican.
She's Jamaican, but she lives here in Paris and in different places, right?
Yeah.
So I just happened to catch up with her here in Paris, and I wanted y'all to meet Shevanne because she is a shaman, y'all, and I want her to tell you exactly, because I'm like, shaman, we need to know what that is. So go ahead.
Well, Renee, it's very interesting because to sum it up in a very simple way, I would say a shaman is a person that is dedicated to living a life that is in harmony with the natural world. So it's as simple as that. If you're someone that's out in nature and very sensitive to the world around you. And I'm not talking about your house and your fridge, but I'm talking about being on the grass and in the ground and the tree and the rivers and the water, the way that our ancestors eons ago lived, right? When you were in Africa, no one had a fridge. Everyone, they kind of worked in relations with the nature around them. So they had this. So we original ancestors were shaman. This is where it comes from. So we're just kind of going back to a tradition which all ancient civilization was built on. The first stone men, they were worshipping the Mother Earth, for example, because that's where they got their food from. Of course, you're going to worship something that's allowing you to live and to nourish you. They also got their shelter. They had the trees, and then you have the water, and then you have the wind, and then you have the fire. So everything was very obvious to them that is what they can't do that themselves. So here is something that is given by this natural world. So it is about getting back into right relations with that and living in harmony with the world around you. So that's an easy simplistic definition of it, so that you can start to then build layers onto it. It's different. It's practiced differently. It's not a worship. It's not a religion. It's like a way of thinking. It's like being vegan, I would say. And maybe that's also, not exactly the same, but yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right? It's in that direction. It's the way you live your life. It's the way you show up for yourselves every day. So for me, shamanism represents rituals. It represents going back and feeling the sacredness inside of you. So cultivating a space, a ritual that brings you back to yourself, to your original self, to your inner self. We live so much on the exterior, but we never take that time to go inside. So by cultivating a ritual every morning of getting up and lighting a candle and remembering your ancestors, for example, that's a ritual. Another ritual you would do without knowing it's a ritual is getting up and drinking a cup of coffee and reading toxic news. That's also a ritual, which is feeding something negative inside of you. So if we wake up and balance that by lighting a candle and remembering your great grandmothers or your grandmothers, your ancestors, and giving thanks. I mean, you don't need to pray to God. You just need to thank the world around you. Thank the trees, the earth, the sun, the sky, because without that we wouldn't exist. And just being grateful in something so basic. We are counteracting sitting down with a cup of coffee and reading toxic news that doesn't, nourish your soul. It makes your conscious mind, it feeds your ego and your conscious mind and your thinking mind, but it doesn't go into your heart space, right? So this is one of the main thing that for me shamanism represents. It gives me that structure, that format of going inside. And it goes beyond mere meditation. Meditation is beautiful, and I advocate for that because that's also a ritual we cultivate in shamanism, and is also meditating, but we go a little bit further. We go that one step in, even further in.
And so what brought you to shamanism?
Well, after 60 years on this world and having been living really in my egoic self, and meaning in my mental state, always thinking, I realized something was fundamentally missing. And also that plus working, I'm a coach, hypnotherapist, and I realized that we are more than just our thinking mind, and we have to nourish our spirit and our soul. So that led me on this journey to finding something that resonates, that doesn't discriminate but resonates with me. It doesn't discriminate against God. It doesn't discriminate against if I was a religious person. It wouldn't clash with that unless I had some religion that was just really extreme, which I wouldn't be doing that. But so it's neutral, but it gave me a way to go into my spirituality, my spiritual side, to examine that.
Okay, that was going to be my next question is, can you follow or practice a religion and also shamanism? So
Absolutely.
You're saying, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the people that I work with absolutely are. I'm a member of the Black Shaman group, and a lot of them are religious, and they mix it perfectly. And as a matter of fact, that is where we as Black people, we've been really good at integrating our culture. If you think about even all those practices, voodoos and the different ways of spirituality that has evolved even in America, in Jamaica, in Haiti, it's mixing that together with their religion, right? It's a lot of them, they bring in their Catholic faith or their Christian faith, and then they mixing it with a religion that they bought over from Africa, and so they're combining. Here, it really is not even like that. It's not even a religion. It's not telling you about a God. It's not telling you about worshiping anything. You're just getting into right relations. So what I do when I get up is, when you saw my ritual, it's not about worshiping anything. It's about me putting myself in right relations with the sun, the moon, the star, and like really feeling that I'm a part of this world, more than just I am the ruler of Earth. Nobody's ruling Earth. We think we are. We're brainwashed to think that we're separate, but this is me saying, no, I'm not. Thank you. I appreciate this natural world that we live in, and I am aligning myself with this energy, this frequency.
Okay. And so my next question then is, are there things that we do that are from shamanism that we may not be aware? Like, I'm told that it's good to walk barefoot outside. Absolutely. So that you can ground yourself. Yes. And so what are some of those things that we may
when
be
you
doing?
get in a bath, when you lie in that water and you're anointing yourself, especially if you're taking time to do it. This is like if you spend time in the shower and you feel this water running down your body, and you're just, the only thing sometimes we forget to be grateful for that. Something like that is then when you bring gratitude in and like, thank you, water, for you're reminded of that the sensation it creates. It also cleanse your energy field, not only your physical body, but the energy that surrounds you. And so definitely walking barefoot, lighting a candle.
And Palo Santo.
Yes, and if you sage your house, but if you just light a candle and sit there and just relax with that candle, or even looking into it, it can be hypnotic. It brings you into this, it calms down your nervous system. For example. Okay. So lighting a Palo Santo, sage in your house is incredible.
So we're doing all this and we don't even realize.
Saying grace and holding hands. And that's a bond, that's a unity, that's recognizing our commonality, right? Our universality and our spirit. So we are feeling that energy that's circulating, so whenever we come together, especially as women, that's sitting in circle and honoring each other. This is
okay.
Yeah, we do a lot without knowing.
We sure do. So when people say I have a shaman, like I say, you're my shaman, what does that mean?
Well, you know what, because this is something that I have immersed myself in. So in doing that, I can bring the shamanic beliefs into my healing sessions, for example.
Okay.
So that's where you say, if you say you have a shaman, so you're gonna see your shaman. Like I myself, because this is the work I do. But even if I didn't do it, I have a shaman that I see myself.
Okay, so it's like I have a therapist.
Yes,
I get it.
I see them at least twice a year.
Okay.
Because it's things that we have back doors where we can't see, right? So I need someone to be able to see and say, hey, and check me. So what I do with you is just to make sure that your aura is fine, that your chakras are aligned, and that your energy field is vibrating at the highest frequency, so that you can attract everything you want.
Yes.
Right? You can live that life you want. That's why you want to have a shaman.
I love it. So like when we do the sound bowls, the sound bath.
Amazing.
To get the chakras aligned.
Yes.
And do you do those as well?
I do different ways. I do it more energetic ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting. So just someone that I wanted to bring to us, just to expose us to some different things, because y'all, we know the Baptist church. That's about it. And it's good.
And that's good too.
And that's wonderful. But really, there's so much more out there that we can learn and get a hold of and use in order to elevate ourselves and live our best life. So.
And that's what it's about, living our best life. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Renee.
So good to see you again. Thank you for watching. Now be sure to like, subscribe, share with your besties, and tell me what topics would you like more of in the comments below, so I know I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. I also invite you to join me in the Well Divas on one of our unapologetically fly wellness travel experiences. Visit welldiva.com and select someplace wonderful to meet up with us. Until next time, stay unapologetically fly.